Right guys, so we're just setting off on the hack with the two cobs that we have. We've got Nikki on Rocky and Kyle next to on Sydney. Sydney is 10. I need to double check Rocky. Rocky's 9 or 10. I'm pretty sure he's 9 or 10. I will just double check that by the time this video goes live. I just have so many horses at the minute. My brain only stores so much information. Anyway, back to some information on these two. These two have actually been sourced for me by a supplier who I've bought them both from the same home. I believe that they've both been with a family on a farm for many years, and they've been used just for general riding, really, just a bit of everything. I actually will double check, but I'm pretty sure that Sydney that Kyle was on is used for driving. I'm not going to go into that because I need to double check that, to be honest. They possibly have both been used for driving, but I do need to just double check that. But anyway, we're talking about the ridden element of them. So both of them are around 14.2. They're good sized cobs, actually. You've got to bear in mind, guys, that Kyle's 6'2", and he's actually got his stirrups on the longest hole, which I did tell him to put them a little bit shorter. But, you know, Kyle will do what Kyle does. But anyway, regardless of that, you know, Sydney's carrying Kyle at 6'2", and I want to say 14 stone, but he says, you know, he's a good weight anyway. And then you've got Nikki on Rocky. Now, Rocky he's lovely marked, actually. He's got lots of black on him. We were going to clip him this week. We've just been so busy. We just haven't had time. And to be honest, he doesn't really build up a sweat. He's quite chilled and laid back, and we've ridden him and he doesn't get sweaty. He's got a nice coat, actually, and he stays quite clean. I can't say the same for Sydney, mind, but anyway, you can't have it all. So we've got we'll talk about Rockstar first. That's his name, Rockstar. Obviously we shortened it to Rocky. He knows his job. Walk trot canters in the school. He's got that nice little rocking horse canter. He jumps around a course of jumps. He jumps all the fillers. Yeah, he's cracking, actually. But he's a steady type. He is quite laid back, but at the same time, you know, he will go and do a bit of everything. Sydney moves beautiful, actually, and his feathers, I can't tell you how much feather he's got. You just won't see that on the photos or the videos because, you know, it's winter. We wash the feathers. By the time we come to him the next day, they're dirty from being in the stable. And they don't just look as impressive as they actually are. He's got mountains and mountains of feather, that horse. Mountains of it. He rides really nicely in the school, you know. Again, he's quiet. I'd say he's a little bit more active than Sydney, but, you know, not still, both of them are quiet to ride in the school, you know, for sure. Both of them are. They've gone over a little speed bump. But he actually moves really nicely. He's got a real good stride on him. Lovely, nice, steady, balanced canter as well. And he pops over all the little coloured jumps also. I would say that Sydney's probably been sort of ridden round more, and, you know, by the kids, where they've just sort of taken him over little courses of jumps and all that sort of stuff. So both of them have got lovely natures, really, really nice natures, easy to handle, well mannered. They're not bargy cobs at all, not at all. They are really well mannered, very polite. They've been a pleasure to have. We've had them out for a couple of nights because we've so full, to be honest. and they've come together, and we thought that perhaps they'd be a little bit pally and clingy, and when you can't take one away from the other. They've not been like that in the slightest. You wouldn't even think they knew each other. So they're not like that at all, which is really, really nice actually, that you can take one away from the other. Sydney's shod. No, I'm telling you wrong. Rocky's shod, Sydney's not. We'll catch them up now. There. Sydney has been on the farm, so I'm told, since he was 6 months old. He was microchipped as a young horse, but because he was just on the farm, they actually never applied for his passport. So we had the vet out this week and passported him and vaccinated him as well, checked his microchip, all of that, so he's all good to go. Rocky's already got his. These cobs are just getting harder and harder to find, you know, they really are. Actually, also, I'm going to say that they both loaded onto a 3.5 tonner and travelled together to us, but we've actually travelled these separately ourselves. I've travelled them myself on the 7.5 ton lorry, alone as well, with tat lockers. You know, a lot of people are worried about horses climbing on tat lockers and things like that. These two travel brilliantly. I loaded them on my own separately at different on different times, because although they're together at this yard, they haven't been. Sydney actually moved here before Rocky, and they just walked on like a dog and travelled so well. They, you know, like I say, they're very well mannered and easy cobs. They're so hard to find at the moment. So hard to find. I don't believe that the photographs that we've done of either of these two do them justice, to be fair, at all. Sydney, yeah, we just can't keep clean at all, and they don't dry. If we bath them one in the morning, they're not dry by the afternoon, so we have to do the photographs the day after, and when I come to them the day after, they're not clean. Rocky actually stays very clean, to be fair to him, but yeah, Sydney doesn't. But he's beautiful looking, Sydney is. He's got really like striking face, especially his right eye. He's got a white face but a black eye, and like black round the eyelid. He actually looks like he's got his eyeliner on. He's really, really attractive, and he's got sort of that natural wave in his mane and his tail, so he must look absolutely stunning in summer, like unbelievably stunning. As you can see, they're hacking lovely. They're great because look, they're nice and active in the trot there. They're sort of clearly enjoying their hack, but at the same time, we're happily walking along. You'll have to ignore the bridle that Kyle's got on, because we realised once we were here, we've only got one bridle here that fit the cob size, which Rocky's got on. So the bridle we've had to just borrow for Sydney has actually got it's not, I can't remember what bit it's got on. I think it might even be a 3-ring bit, I can't just remember, but it's not a snaffle. But he does go in a snaffle, guys. All of his other videos have been done in the snaffle, so just don't take too much notice of that. Really straightforward, lovely cobs, these two. You know, cobs are sort of our roots really as CnG. That's what we try to have the most of, but I can honestly say they're probably what is hardest to find. Oh, they're gonna get on there now and wait for me. Right, hang on guys, I'm just gonna park up. So you'll have to ignore Kyle's little joke there. And Nikki says they scream at you for going on their grass. These are blimmin' good cobs, guys. These are. You can look how good that you can see from here how well Sydney's carrying Kyle's size as well. Gives you a good indication of size. Right, so you've seen them on the main road, seen them cantering up the grass verge. Yeah, very, very, very good cobs. They are both in heart ranges. Gosh, I can't just think off the top of my head what is the one below the blue. I'd have to have a look. I've got a feeling it's green. I'm pretty sure it's green. I should know by now, shouldn't I? I'm pretty sure it's green. Whatever the one below blue is, that's the price range that they're both in. For those that have got the heart pricing chart, the system that we've got. Those of you that haven't, drop me a message for it. You guys will probably know it better than me. I love how these cobs move, you know. They're sort of active, as you can see, but without them like sharp and strong and forward, but you know, active enough that they're not that sort of ploddy cob. So yeah, that these sort, I know I keep saying it, but yeah, they are really hard to find. The sort that are quiet enough that you haven't got that sharp cob, but they're active enough to do a job. Yeah, I'm very, very, very pleased with them. As I say, you know what I was saying, I think when I cut off earlier, that, you know, cobs are sort of our roots really. I know that we have the sports horses now and the all-rounders, which is great. We're doing very well with those. We're enjoying them, and, you know, in turn buyers are enjoying them, so that's all great. But cobs are where our roots, and, you know, there's a lot of people messaging me sort of saying, have we stopped doing the cobs or doing so many? And the question is absolutely not. It's just they're very, very hard to find, especially since COVID. The COVID prices went through the roof really, and although they have dropped marginally, they've not dropped a great deal. So, you know, I've been inquiring about cobs and people are asking 5 figures for them, which is just ludicrous in my opinion. Although I do believe that they should have always carried more value than they have in recent years. But, you know, as I say, they've tended to been too cheap. But, you know, now you still guys got to sort of dig deep for a decent cob, and you just can't find them. I'm not saying that you might never find a lucky one out there, but, you know, we're talking in general, and there's nobody that's looking more than me. So can you find cheaper? Yeah, occasionally you can, you know, but sort of buy cheap, what is it, pay cheap, buy twice, or something like that. Like I say, I know there's exceptions out there, I'm not saying there isn't, but the good thing is with us, we do try and test them as well, give them a bit of a seal of approval. And, you know, I try and video everything, literally everything. What we do with them is all on camera. And I think the hacking out ones especially, they're working really well because, you know, you see exactly what we see rather than a little snippet. And this route's quite good because you manage to do a little bit of everything on that sort of route that takes us, I don't know, however long this video is, maybe getting on for half an hour. So, you know, it's very rare that you always see all that on a viewing. I know you can go and hack them out, but you know what I'm talking in general. So there we go, we've got Sydney and we've got Rocky.